Welcome to Timeless Audiobook, Death Row by Freida McFadden. Death Row by Freida McFadden is a psychological thriller that grips readers with its haunting storyline, complex characters, and constant twists that leave you questioning every page. McFadden, known for crafting intense suspense with psychological depth, delivers yet another masterpiece that keeps readers at the edge of their seats. This book takes you on a dark journey inside the criminal justice system, exploring themes of guilt, deception, and the terrifying unknown. In this summary, we dive deep into the intricate plot, character arcs, and chilling secrets of Death Row, so listeners can enjoy a gripping retelling designed for an immersive audiobook experience. Summary: the story begins with the chilling atmosphere of Ironwood State Penitentiary, a notorious maximum security prison known for housing the most dangerous criminals. Among them is Oliver Stone, a man sitting on death row for the brutal murder of his wife, Samantha Stone. The evidence against Oliver is damning, yet cracks in the case begin to surface as journalist Emily Bennett arrives to investigate. Emily Bennett is an ambitious investigative reporter, known for exposing corruption and uncovering hidden truths. When she receives an anonymous tip about inconsistencies in Oliver Stone's conviction, her instincts tell her there is more to the story. Despite warnings from her editor and family, Emily is drawn to the mystery, compelled to uncover the truth. Behind the murder that shocked the nation, Emily begins her investigation. She meets with Oliver, a charismatic yet enigmatic figure whose calm demeanor contradicts the violent crime he's accused of. Oliver maintains his innocence, claiming he was framed, but his story is riddled with gaps. Emily's skepticism begins to falter when she uncovers suppressed evidence and questionable testimonies. Through interviews with key witnesses, Emily pieces together Samantha Stone's life. Samantha was a successful psychologist with a seemingly perfect marriage, but as Emily digs deeper, she discovers cracks beneath the polished surface. Friends and colleagues describe Samantha as driven but secretive, hinting at marital problems and professional rivalries. Emily's investigation leads her to Detective Marcus Hayes, the lead investigator in the case. Hayes is a seasoned officer, with a reputation for closing high-profile cases, but Emily senses hostility and evasion in their encounters. As she delves into the official reports, she discovers discrepancies in the timeline and missing evidence, raising doubts about Hayes' integrity. Parallel to Emily's investigation, the story unveils Oliver's grim existence on death row. Life behind bars is brutal and unforgiving. The constant threat of violence, isolation, and psychological torment weigh heavily on him. Yet, Oliver remains composed, meticulously planning how to clear his name before his execution date. Emily interviews Samantha's closest confidant, Rachel, who reveals that Samantha had been receiving threatening letters in the weeks leading up to her death. Rachel believes someone from Samantha's past may have resurfaced. This revelation adds a new layer to the investigation, suggesting a stalker or vengeful adversary. Meanwhile, Emily's relentless pursuit of the truth draws unwanted attention. She receives cryptic warnings to abandon the case, and her apartment is broken into. The deeper she digs, the more dangerous the situation becomes, but Emily refuses to back down. Emily tracks down Dr. Harold Mills, a colleague of Samantha's who had a professional rivalry with her. Dr. Mills is evasive, but Emily learns that Samantha had been involved in a controversial psychological study with far-reaching implications. The study explored manipulative behavior, deception, and how easily the human mind can be influenced. The psychological elements of the case intrigue Emily, leading her to suspect that Samantha's death was more than just a domestic dispute. Oliver, she discovers, had no history of violence, and their marriage, though strained, lacked the typical signs of abuse seen in similar cases. Emily continues. She encounters a former patient of Samantha's, Lisa, whose mental health deteriorated. After participating in Samantha's study, Lisa claims Samantha manipulated her mind and blurred the lines between reality and illusion. Emily wonders if the same tactics were used against others, possibly including Oliver. Further investigation reveals that Samantha's research was funded by a powerful pharmaceutical company with vested interests. The company, known for silencing whistleblowers, had clashed with Samantha over ethical concerns. Emily's inquiries into the company put her in grave danger, but she uncovers emails suggesting corporate intimidation and threats against Samantha. With time running out before Oliver's execution, Emily races to gather evidence. She obtains forensic reports overlooked during the trial, which indicate inconsistencies in the crime scene. Fingerprints that did not match Oliver's were dismissed as contamination, and surveillance footage from a nearby building mysteriously vanished. Emily finally confronts Detective Hayes with her findings, but he stonewalls her. However, a retired officer provides Emily with confidential files exposing Hayes' involvement in covering up evidence to secure a conviction. The corruption runs deep, implicating not only Hayes but also individuals within the prosecution and law enforcement. In a tense climax, Emily presents her evidence to a defense attorney, triggering a legal battle to halt Oliver's execution. The process is riddled with obstacles, but public pressure mounts as Emily publishes her exposé, revealing the flawed investigation and potential conspiracy. The final hours before Oliver's execution are nerve-wracking. Protests erupt outside the prison, and media outlets scramble to cover the breaking news. Emily receives one final lead: a witness willing to testify that they saw a masked intruder leaving the Stone residence the night of the murder. In a courtroom showdown, the witness's testimony, combined with the suppressed forensic evidence, sways the judge to grant a stay of execution. The case is reopened, and Detective Hayes faces internal investigations. Emily's persistence not only saves Oliver's life, but also exposes systemic corruption within the justice system. As the dust settles, Emily reflects on the harrowing journey. The truth remains elusive, with questions lingering about the pharmaceutical company's role and the psychological experiments that may have influenced key players. Oliver is freed but remains a controversial figure, and Emily's career is forever changed by the case. Death Row concludes with a haunting reminder of the fragility of justice and the lengths to which people will go to conceal the truth. The story leaves listeners questioning reality, trust, and the unseen forces shaping our lives. This gripping audiobook summary of Death Row by Freida McFadden captures the essence of the novel, blending psychological suspense, legal drama, and investigative intrigue into a captivating retelling designed to keep listeners hooked from beginning to end.